And what I'm saying is, like, in this race to the bottom culture, we're going to see more and more is streamers that are trying to push the envelope. And like Twitch has to be careful about that if they want to protect their brand to make it brand friendly. All right, so Dr. Disrespect, who is a very popular streamer on Twitch TV, filmed himself at E3. And he had a video producer who was going through E3 and was filming him doing various stuff and like doing various shenanigans and activities and whatever. And over the course of the time that he was at E3, he decided to voluntarily walk into not one, not two, not three, and not four, but four bathrooms. Four bathrooms. So a lot of people that didn't read the story, they think that Dr. Respect like walked into a bathroom while they were filming. He walked into four bathrooms. He walked into four. And he was filming himself every time. And it was, I think, like, I didn't see the stream. And I wasn't sure if he was like, my take on this, I guess from like the news that I read, was that he was like doing it like a skit, right? He was like doing a thing where it's like, oh, it's like cool to watch the doc pee. Cause like at one time they film him and he goes into a stall and they're filming the stall, and then he like lowers down the stall and like sits down. So it's kind of like I'm like the cool Dr. Disrespect, like kind of like edgy brand stuff. So to say that this was an accident, it was not an accident. It was not an accident. He intentionally streamed in a bathroom. Okay, so 4 times. And during one of these things, it was kind of controversial because he streamed and he caught like a 12-year-old or like a 10-year-old or something taking a leak in one of the urinals or whatever, but regardless. Okay, so let's cover the issues. And I'm going to cover a couple of things. One, I'm going to tell you like what matters about this. And then 2, I'm going to cover like the actual big issue that I think nobody is talking about with the Dr. Disrespect issue. So our cameras in bathrooms illegal in California. We found a good article that said that there was, it basically violates 2 things. So one is article Penal Code 647, which says it's basically illegal to, anywhere where there's a reasonable expectation of privacy, it's illegal to record there. And that has a maximum fine of up to $1,000, no big deal, and imprisonment in county jail for up to 6 months. Meanwhile, you have a secondary code, which is a peeping Tom policy, that says that there could be a maximum fine of $2,000, and it could be up to a year in county jail as a result of the penalties for both of these violations. Now, here's the thing, right? The up to a year in jail thing is never going to be enforced. Even if it's considered a gross misdemeanor, it's pretty hard to believe that that is going to happen. The bigger implication is that anyone that I was talking to a lawyer at E3 about this situation when it dropped, and what he told me was that any lawyer that wanted to could go approach the people that were recorded and could say that you are able to sue Doc for damages. And so potentially anybody that was actually filmed could say, hey, my privacy was invaded. That caused me distress or harm or whatever. And I'm going to sue you for $100,000. And they would easily get away with it. There would actually be no question that Doc could get sued for this. Now, will he get sued is anyone's guess, because it's E3. There's a lot of gamers there. It's kind of hard to imagine, but people like money. Who knows? Like, he could definitely get sued. It's probably more likely that he gets sued than it is that California actually goes after him. If California goes after him, he's probably going to end up paying a fine, and that's going to be the end of it. I don't think he'll see jail time or anything crazy or dramatic like that. So here is why I picked up the story. This is why I'm talking about this. I'll give my take on it first, okay? There's no question that what he did was completely insensitive and dumb. And I also think that it is really dumb to not take personal accountability for this. So it kind of frustrates me that on his Twitter right now, and apparently he's going to make a video, so I don't want to speak too soon. Maybe he'll have a really professional apology video and whatever. Mishaps lead to recaps, full video coming soon. P.S. My director Alex was fired. I really didn't like this tweet. Okay? Number one, dude, take personal accountability and ownership for your mistake. Okay, your director was fired, as is implicating that was the mistake. You made the decision to bring them in as much as that guy did. I very much doubt that his director's like, dude, what if we go into bathrooms and we film you and you're doing funny stuff in the bathroom? You at least agreed to it, or you made some kind of decision that was to the contrary. How many points of failure did there need to be for everybody to ignore the fact that one person could have said, wait, maybe this isn't a good idea, right? It is at least as much Dr. Disrespect's problem as it is his directors, I would argue that ownership is completely on Dr. Disrespect. It frustrates me a lot when people do this, when they don't. I've talked a lot about ownership and accountability. You should take complete accountability for this. You should say, like, like even in your first tweet, even if you're going to do it in a video, and to all the people that say, oh, but it's not Dr. Disrespect's brand. Dr. Disrespect's brand is to be a badass and to not care what people think. Bro, you filmed people in a bathroom. You're a character. Everyone in the industry knows you're a character. You disrespected people, literally, okay? Like, it's not disrespect in the sense of like disrespect of like, of like in a game or whatever. It's actual disrespect. You've gone out of character by doing something that is untoward on a societal sense, and that everybody would firmly agree is something that is a serious breach of privacy and really sucks to do. So you come out professionally and you say, hey, I did that. I'm sorry. I learned from my mistakes. I'll be better next time. That's what you do. Hopefully that comes out in the video, because as of this talk, it hasn't happened yet. We'll watch the video and we'll see if it does. But take a personal accountability immediately for your mistake. He could have said something like, hey, this was a stupid thing to do. This is something that I feel quite bad about. I'm going to make a full video about it later. Really sorry that this happened. Heart goes out to the people that if I may have offended with this will never happen again. You could say something like that. It'd be way more professional than something like this. You don't stay in character when you do something like this. This is a very big mistake and shows a lot of insensitivity to people's issues. So that doesn't concern me as much as this does. If I Google CNN Dr. Disrespect, and here comes my big take, okay? CNN.com, Dr. Disrespect Twitch account suspended, E3 press revoked for illegal bathroom stream. Mercury News, Yahoo, right? This is scary, right? When I Google this and it goes outside of gamer news, this is what scares the crap out of me, right? It's okay, we see it on Deserto, we see it on Kotaku, okay? But the big problem, and the thing that I think no one is talking about, is that this hit mainstream media. That's the big problem. Oh, and I've talked about this before, but this is like the big thing, right? Twitch right now is operating in a very dangerous space. They're not yet known by everybody. So I'll give an analogy. I think that'll be really useful here. 3 years ago, I was streaming on Twitch since 2012. 3 years ago or 4 years ago, when I was on an airplane and someone asked what I did, I couldn't say I'm a streamer. I couldn't say I stream on Twitch, because they'd be like, what's that? And then I have to be like, well, I'm a live streamer. They go, oh, what's that? And I'm like, oh, well, I stream on, I'm in front of a webcam and I talk. Oh, so you do pornography? No. I stream video games. What do you mean? People watch you play video games? Yes. And they pay you for it? Yes. Really? Okay, that was an unbelievable conversation. So what I said was I would just say, I'm a YouTuber. I do YouTube. And people go, oh, I get that. Okay, well, he's a YouTuber. Okay, it's not exactly true, but it's like, yeah, you get it. It's the same medium type of thing. Nowadays, here's what I can say to my Uber driver yesterday, who was driving me to LAX, and said like, oh, what do you do? And I said, oh, I stream on Twitch like Ninja. And then he's like, oh, right, because everybody's heard of Ninja. He's in mainstream. He's like Ellen. He's like on all the shows. So when you say, oh, I stream on Twitch like Ninja, that works. Okay. Here's what you don't want to have happen. Oh, I stream on Twitch. Oh, yeah, like that guy that goes into bathrooms. Okay, that's what we don't want. That's what we don't want. So the point is that Twitch hasn't reached a point of market saturation to the extent that people associate a certain brand with Twitch. And when news comes out that hits mainstream media websites, you have to be very careful, because you will associate that brand really quick. And that's what I worried about with the Dr. Disrespect issue. The problem is that this issue became a big enough issue that Dr. Disrespect got into mainstream, and now this is like when Business Insider and CNN is like the main one, cover this issue. There's a huge percentage of people that are being exposed to Twitch in that instance for the first time. And if Twitch becomes this website where people are streaming in bathrooms and people are going into gyms and filming people, and that's happening, the perception of Twitch as a brand will lower, and as a result, it will be much harder for new brands that want to sell on Twitch to come in and advertise. A good example of this, and the reason why, so like if you look at like the artifact thing that happened on Twitch, right? Where for a while, somebody figured out how to like create a monster, like a living Cthulhu, that made the artifact section just produce random pornography streams for a while. And Twitch understood that this was such a code red situation that they shut down account creation across the entire website, right? It was the maximum level of response, the maximum threat response, because they understood if CNN picked up the story that's like Twitch is advertising a zillion pornography streams, it would have been a nightmare because you don't want the brand association that's fresh in people's minds to be that. So Dr. Disrespect this is why I'm going to say this. This is kind of like a really hot take, but nobody has actually confirmed how long the Dr. Disrespect ban is. I know how long it is. I'm going to tell you right now. I think that Dr. Disrespect should be banned for a very long time for this. Like, a very long time. If he is banned for a short amount of time, and I don't want to tell you how long his ban is for, I would be very frustrated if that happened. Because Twitch needs to make a statement that things like this aren't okay, even for large content creators. And Twitch needs to put its brand first instead of revenue first, because Dr. Disrespect is undoubtedly a very large content creator in terms of revenue for Twitch. But this is a very serious issue that this hit all of the major websites. You do not want the future amount of revenue that's going to be lost as a result of Johnson & Johnson or any kind of like F500 saying, oh yeah, we don't want to advertise on Twitch because they're associated with people that go into bathrooms. And that may seem like a stretch, but that is really how these brands think. I can't tell you how many meetings I have had with large F500 brands where I've been in a Death Star room with 20 old executives and they go, yeah, I'm not going to advertise with you because you run a team of people and in CSGO it says terrorists win. I will not advertise with you. They dropped my account because of that. Right? They dropped any deal that I could possibly have because of that. Just because of that one phrase in CSGO. So there are a lot of brands that the Dr. Disrespect thing that happened and that article on CNN, the article itself providing clout, right, is enough for them not to invest. And that lowers the quality of Twitch as a representable brand opportunity as a whole. So Twitch needs to come down on this stat. And they need to say, this was not okay. This is something that we do not support our streamers in doing. We are going to put Dr. Disrespect on blast. This is absolutely not okay. And they need to go very hard on this. I do not like the idea of Dr. Disrespect getting banned for a short amount of time, if that is indeed what happened. So that's the thing I think nobody really talked about. There's a certain amount of clout that comes from being mentioned on a website, right? Like CNN. And you can look at how they write, right? Gamer, Herschel, Guy, Beahm, better known by as Elias, Dr. Disrespect has his account suspended from Twitch today and his E3 pass was revoked. Decided to stream himself on his Twitch channel yesterday inside of a bathroom at Los Angeles Convention Center. You see how they're writing? They're not writing for us. Look at this, and look at Deserto, right? Any website that actually appeals to people, it's not going to set these qualifiers because they know that they're not writing to new audiences necessarily who might not know who this guy is, but CNN is. So the people that write these articles, there's a certain amount of clout that comes from being on CNN.com, and brands pay attention to that. And overall, this is why this is really bad for Twitch as a whole. The problem is we see far more of this stuff happening than we see good stuff happening. So Ninja, like him or hate him, has actually been pretty objectively good for Twitch. He doesn't curse much, right? He's a pretty good brand. He's been on Ellen. He's represented himself pretty well. He's a good charismatic personality. He's in the New York thing. He brought a lot of attention to Twitch that is really good. And we don't want to see that in reverse with Dr. Disrespect. So for that to happen, I guess to summarize the issue, I just really want Dr. Disrespect and I want Twitch itself to take more ownership and accountability of the severity of this issue. And I want both of them to be professional about it. And I want Disrespect more than anything to take ownership. It's fine that you fired your director. Maybe he was complicit in the idea, but you should take personal accountability. And I hope he does that in the video. He says, look, this is totally my mistake. Super insensitive. Really bad. And Twitch at the same time says, hey, yeah, we take this seriously. We are going to ban this guy for a long time. He's going to be off the platform for a long time. But those two things happening, unfortunately, I don't think are going to come to pass. So in short, okay, my position on this is the following. I think Dr. Disrespect overall is pretty great for Twitch as a platform. I think he made a pretty big mistake here. Walking into bathrooms, being insensitive, okay, that's insensitive. It's something that is wrong to do. What is further wrong to do is not immediately come out and take ownership of the situation. Post something like this where you take accountability for it. Don't post a meme and post about your fake director being fired or whatever. This is just not looking good on Twitch as a brand overall and on the market overall as overall. Like, brands do care about this stuff. People do get offended by this stuff. This is things that we should take professionally and that we should aspire to be a higher degree of professionalism and maturity if we want to be taken seriously as gamers. This is my same response that I had. I've been consistent about this to FaZe Banks, right? With the same thing in the Tfue situation, which was like, the way he responded on Twitter is how we ought not act if we are C-level executives in esports teams, again, if we wish to be taken seriously. I think this will have implications on how brands look at Twitch if there isn't like a video created with like some kind of like admission and professionalism in that. And maybe there is. Maybe CAA is working on that. I hope so. Either way, don't think that Doc is a bad dude overall. I just think that like he's a victim of this same concept that I've been talking about for a while, which is like the race to the bottom content. If you want to get viewers, if you want to be popular, you need to say really controversial stuff. You need to push the limit of what is okay. And that is eventually going to get you into situations like this where you get tied up and people say, oh yeah, like he pushed it too far. That's something that we can't tolerate. Doc has to constantly reinvent himself in more offensive and disrespectful ways to continue to get his viewership and to continue to be on the top. And that pushes him into situations like this. So it's not all his fault. A lot of it is like the culture that he operates within. But that said, like you need to take personal accountability when you push it too far. And that's all he had to do to not make me have this talk. Okay? So that's it. I think that's it. If we're doing a video, subscribe to the YouTube, please. I do videos as much as I can and try to provide value. Hope it has. Thank you very much.